Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you another evening of racing for what is gonna be the penultimate race of Season 6 for No Stabilizers Allowed on the F1 24 game. And as you can see, we're going to be having a race today around Yas Marina Circuit. Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is upon us for what could be an already title deciding race with both drivers and constructors world championship on the line, as the latter has seen its conclusion just a couple of hours ago. And yeah, McLaren took that despite Ferrari having what can only be described as a better than expected race, especially with Charles Leclerc being up there in third after starting 18th or 17th? 19th on the grid, I think. With Hamilton up to P4 after starting P18. Today's track is obviously going to feature the rebuilt Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, including removed chicanes between turns what is now 4 and 5, and the whatever they thought that was a good idea between the old turn 8 and the start of the now turn 10, with a still interesting final bit to the racetrack that also got a lot faster before they headed for the season finale in what is probably going to be one of the most exciting title fights in a modern F1, with the 2021 finale. Obviously, we had that version of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in for the first time in 2022 when the game came out. And yeah, 2 DR zones, a fast and very short first sector where you just need to be making sure you don't lose too much time, especially turn in and exit of turn 1 are very crucial here. And then it's a flat out left into a fast uphill right and a small bend to the left. Then a very interesting, very wide, and then tightening at the apex of 5 turn. And then there's the first air zone, and then the immediate opportunity to counter your opponent attack. And to say the chicane still feels odd, it doesn't really fit in there, it's very narrow, but somehow it makes for good racing. It's always interesting if you're on the track yourself. You don't like this at all, really, but yeah, to watch, it's certainly great. As we move to our result from last time out, and you can see on the right hand side, it has been a full wet Qatar Grand Prix. I was very stunned. I'm sure the drivers were as well. Control took a very decisive win with almost 18 seconds of a lead over the next car in the what could be our new world champion, Robastian. Sorry, I always get this wrong. Andy Andre, his closest challenger, in third, also taking the fastest lap throughout the race. Bosnian demoted by a 5-second penalty and a quali ban to fourth. Pleasure Snake only fifth, and yeah, was ahead of Moksha and Guy Rapke. These three were fighting throughout. T-Ben as a reserve in 8th, and then we had Andrew in front of Nocebo, and all the DNFs, including both McLarens, Fellison, who opted to go for an early undercut to the intermediate tires, which was at the time one of his strongest moves, probably throughout the season so far. And yeah, it didn't work out at the end. I don't know why. I think overall frustration built within the second leader of this league, and there are talks about something potentially changing big in this league for the future, but I will keep that quiet for now. Kovaska 12th, Katja 13th, Supermax 14th, Derry 15th, Broly in 16th, also retired on lap 1, and Quincy even got disqualified for too many track limit penalties, and he was very down after that one. But you can mention that there's gonna be probably a bit of an upward trend coming towards him today, because he really likes Abu Dhabi and to race it. Yeah, 38, if you can really see it, 38 points is the gap. Oh no, 39 because Control is not here today. So yeah, Andy, there are basically 50 points left. And yeah, if Robustian outscores him with less than 26 to go, that would mean a benefit of 13 or at least 14. Yeah, he has more wins, so yeah. And he needs to win. Still has no win. Yeah, he can't tie, so he needs to be 13 points. If he achieves that, then it's done. Catcher for Fellas in 5th, then it's Andrew in front of Moksha by 1 point. Pleasant Snake up 5 places into 8th on 18 points. Vincenzo in front of GR, T-Bran, then 7 positions up with the first points scoring event after his only second outing in a very short season after not scoring in Austria. Dere down, no points since the opening race in Mexico. Miksho, no Sibo, Brody Kovachka, Slayer, Crankyok, and Sinful are your top 20. Sauber is leading the charge by 32 points, and Red Bull has no full-time drivers for tonight, so it's actually going to be measured against Mercedes, and there's roughly something around 92 points in this, so yeah, they need to score big, and they are here with both teammates, so let's see if John Master can bring some points to their tally. Haas in front of Ferrari, who just moved up into 5th. Then McLaren Racing Bulls, that's still very close. Williams, a bit of no man's land. And then it's 15 points to Alpine, and there's Aston Martin still on only single digits, and that is 7 points. And we will be moving what is going to be a qualifying session of 18 minutes in just 3 seconds time, and we are only 14 drivers. And there it is, the penultimate race of the season. Obviously the real one just concluded. I'm glad to say that my weekends are now a bit more freer, and I don't need an early start to the next season. It's going to be interesting, and I'm glad they split it up even better for the coming season, not in terms of races, but in terms of dates. And you can say that the kind of autumn break and the break we had between Brazil and Vegas is gone, so that's good. I can tell you that for free. So yeah, a lot more, still the same amount of races, spread more equally across the 2025 year. More races where it's just back-to-back races, 2 weeks break, back-to-back, or especially in the early stages. It's 1 race, 1 week break, 1 race, 1 week break. That's fine. I think a race every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks is very good. Okay, we have 14 drivers as of right now inside of our session. We have Maverick as a reserve, no, as a full-time driver for Aston Martin. John Meister and Mercedes, well, Hotshot, Andy Andre, both here with us today. Vincenzo is taking the reserve role in the Haas again, with Catcher being there as well. Kicksauber has Diri and Robustian, sorry. Williams as Moksha. Oh, I'm told Sinful was, maybe Sinful rejoins, let's see. Andrew for the Cup, not here, okay, that's a no. Fellastein and Kovachka, that's correct, for McLaren. And Miksho and Quincy are taking reserve roles for Red Bull, and Ferrari Snake Bosnian Helmet, who is serving a quali ban to my information. Two penalty points, 5 seconds, and a quali ban for next week. Okay, Andrew has some issues apparently. Okay. Seems to be an installation lab because of the setup, maybe. That might be an early retirement. And there's our championship leader, being the first one to start setting a lap time. Already done with sector 1, as I said. In the intro, it's really one turn that you need to brake for even, and the rest is just flat out until you hit the brakes for turn 5 and the start of the second sector. Second sector is also not very long. It's turn 5, a chicane of 6-7, and then both of the straights. So that's really the optimal measurement of what the other guy's top speeds are, because a bit of wing is needed to turn the kind for what is still a very sharp apex for turn 5. So you're gonna be needing some wings to make that work. And then this last technical sector where you need to be having a lot of downforce compared to the rest of the track. 22.9 is the first time on the board, as Katja is going to be the next driver to set a lap time already into the penultimate turn. For this 15, and he is roughly 2/10 behind Nick Sauber. Third sector is currently very busy as we watch Moksha take to the line, and he is on a 23.2 as Fallison does a 24.1, and next is Deary 24.3, then it's Vincenzo 23.5, Kovatska 24.7, as Andy Andre goes to 22.5, John Meister 23.0, that's very good, as Mixo is over the line to go into 6, and that's Blazensnake on an outlap, so Mixo 23.5 as well, just ahead of Vincenzo. Kenzie is still on a lap. And Bosnian has retired to serve his quali ban and will be starting from 14th on the grid. And the top is currently very heavily split. Squeezy struggles to get the turn and done for what is turn 6. And the left-hand turn of the chicane, the only chicane on this track. And then down towards turn number 9. He's looking to correct that horrible evening 7 days ago in Qatar. But disqualification had him out after 26 out of 29 laps. And this car does not look very good in the slow speed corners. And he's coming across the line to set a 24.4. And is currently second to last. But I'm sure we'll be seeing at least one other driver top his time. And that is the Ferrari driver of Pleasant Snake. He has turned 15 and turned 16 in front of him. And now he's across the line to jump into what is 5th place, 23.270. And now only Maverick, the only driver not to have set a lap time so far. And as it seems, no one has invalidated their first run. Very good. Hats off to you guys, very impressive. It's not the usual proceedings. As Maverick is now approaching the double left-hander under the hotel section, takes a very early apex for the second turn. I have to say, the off camber of these two corners has not improved this last sector for me. I think it's even worse. Turn 15 is better, as it goes to a 29.7. Holy shit. That is slow. And the 5, it's not only his race number, but he's also 5 seconds and a bit more slower than the next car in front. Wow. Does Nick into the pit lane. Bastian and John Meister. So it's Fallison and Kovachka are already out on track, and we will be going to the season 2 Constructors Champion. I hope I got that right. Season 1 or Season 2 you got Constructors Championship. Not so sure. On board with the McLaren driver, one of the admins for this league. Lots and lots of talks currently going on with him, myself and Quincy, about potential future and changes for no stabilizers allowed as we head into turn 1. This time no Red Bull to his rear axle that spins him around. Shout outs to Max Verstappen for pulling moves like a champion, as Fallison is currently 300ths slower than his previous best sector time in Sector 1. And he's now blasting down the straights. Has used a bit of ES and reaches 326 kph as his rears are on fire after trying to brake for what is roughly 100 meters of a braking point. I can't imagine that being faster than the previous time. And I'm incorrect. 270 thousandths of a second. Faster after the second split. But any F1 driver, any racing driver in general will tell you most lap time is gained in slow corners. Yeah, and don't ask people who go over races because there are no slow corners. The driven is more important as he finds 1.5 tenths to stay in 9th if I'm correct. And there is now, who's the next car? Bastian was into the pits and is coming out again, so John Meister is currently looking to make it a Mercedes 1-2 as he was a bit of an oversteer moment into turn 13, and on the exit of 14 maybe he cooked his tires too much, sporting the that could be the helmet of Lewis Hamilton. There's also Kovachka into the pit lane, sorry. Miksu is starting a lap, Katja is on a lap, and Vincenzo starting a lap. Into the pit lane. Andy had invalidated his lap time, so then Pleasant Snake is starting that one. Who is on a fast lap right now? Moksha is. Katja is. Okay, let's stay with Katja. Warm up in front of him. And I think that's Sebastian, and he gets out of the way. And the exit of 12. And then there's the Williams driver, so he might just want to get a move on as we watch Katja go to the line for a second attempt. Can he improve? He can, and he jumps to 3rd. Small gains, but helped him jump a position, and there was no improvement for Moksha. And there's Derry over the line, second kick Sauber, jumps to 9th. Half a second found. And Quincy also found some time, 24.0 now. He's currently a 10th behind Fallison. To watch Miksu go into the final turn. Oh, what a slide by the Finnish driver. Doesn't improve, and there was Vincenzo over the line as well. No improvement, at least not for position in the standings, as there's now Merrick going over the line, and he has not found an improvement, and that is quite hard to believe with such a slow time. But let's see where it's gonna prove. It's Pleasant Snake. 210s would find him. Quite up the order. 310s. He would jump into second position. What can the Ferrari do? He crosses the line. Goes to third. Finds 310s of improvement. As now we watch Robastian complete his second attempt with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Goes to a 22.546. Just ahead of the Mercedes driver. In second now, which is Andy Andreas. Moksha gets an invitation on the entry to the pit lane, as there are more people now coming into the pit lane late in the session. Is there anyone else on an attempt? No. Andy will be soon. No. Okay, we will be watching Andy, as Quincy has decided to call it a day. Does not think he can improve past the 24.005, which I find baffling, because I'm certain my guy Quincy could do better, but he's currently not finding the answers, and especially no answers to the locations. As we go to Andy Andre, he takes us around the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with 2 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock for what could be his final attempt if he thinks it's bullcrap at the start of the second sector. At the start of the third sector, he can abort it and stick it into the pit lane. 18 thousandths of a second faster right now. The Mercedes driver moving out and about onto the straight, blasting down this at the end narrowing part of the racetrack, and he has reached the exact same. Oh, Sinful's here. Has reached the exact same top speed as Fellas in the previous attempt we watched. Sorry. And he is just a bit faster than before. I think he should opt and jump back into the pits. 3 minutes on the clock, that's still doable. See if he commits. He does commit, so that is his final attempt over the line now. 22.566, he finds 22 thousandths of a second, but it's 20 thousandths of a second short to what is currently the pole position time of Robastian. And Sinful is probably gonna beat Merrick now to the line. Is Sinful out already? No, that's Moksha. Mixu is getting his crew ready. I think Maverick is done for the day. 2 minutes on the clock, that's gonna be tight. Mixu has some bit of a buffer. Snake is also exiting the pit lane now. So they have pressed at the exact same time ready. And oh! Someone just disappeared into the ground on the right hand side. His name must have been Mario. But yeah. I hope Sinful is able to load the setup and go. I want to see him on the track. Sinful! Let's go! Latvian driver. Let's watch Fellison take to the track for what is currently a very disappointing qualifying session. Only 10th. Would see him having to do some extra work here tonight. He's currently over 1.4 seconds behind the pole position time of Robastian. And yeah, still over second to third. Pleasant Snake currently occupying that position down the main straight. The other one is the back straight. Down the main straight into turn number 6. He does not lock the brakes and his especially rear tires this time, and has a way smoother sailing through what is the only chicane on the track, blasting down the back straight. Now into turn 9, what is for some race categories on this track also turn 1, as there's a second pit lane. Start finish straight and some lights there. Always wondered what you can do that, but I think especially in the Gran Turismo games you can have racers there, as there has not been such an exhilarating improvement throughout the first 2 sectors, as Fellison is gonna finish his qualifying off and he finds 7/10 of a second just in the last bit and is into 6th position. What is, still maybe not his to his liking, but it's way better than 10th. And Kacha's coming across the line and he takes to 3rd. Just beats Pleasant Snake for the moment. Merrick is through, was too late to the party. Then with Deary, as we just briefly saw that Robustian found an improvement. When Chenzo's through, and also Andy Andre, we saw his final attempt there. That's P9. And now John Meister off the track in invalidation from him. There's Moksha over the line. And he goes to 5th. Nice improvement by the German, as there's an invalidation for Robustian as well. Goes off the track and DNFs on purpose. Oh yeah, a huge failure of his equipment. Snake is taking to the inside line, but Miksho also had an invalid lap time. So yeah, that's quali done. Robustian in front of Andy Andre by just a blink of an eye. Kacha with a good attempt into 3rd. Snake, no improvement, 4th. Moksha 5. Very tight. And that's your qualifying session for the day. Robustian takes pole position in front of Andy Andre, Kacha, Pleasant, Moksha, then is 6th for John Meister, Fellison, Vincenzo, Deary, Miksho 10th in front of his reserve team, McQuincy, Kovatska 12th, Mavic 13, Sinfo no time, and Qualiban for Bosnian Emmett. As we go to a quick break before we head into what is our penultimate race of the season. Stay tuned and sit tight. Still awaiting the start, and I just seen, I think Mixu's maybe in the hearts, you can't really tell from the color, and I think that's yellow, because the white from Andy Andre's tires is way whiter. Bottom left of your screen, a bit of clouds. I really don't hope, at least for the drivers as well, they get back-to-back wet races in the desert. I really hope they don't get another wet race. Let's see how fast and how far up Bosnian can go from last on the grid. And let's see if Andy has some race pace to beat Sebastian to the line at the end. John needs to be up there, outscoring outscoring Kickstar was gonna be the key here. So fourth and second minimum requirement, with Derry being at a maximum P5. That would help. That's, I think, 20. Oh no, they have the normal points. 25, 15, that's 20, 37. As I go to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And we are off at the front. Sebastian takes the lead into turn 1, and Moksha on around the outside. Pleasant Snake, quick look to the tires, as there's already been a spin for Kovachka. Hearts for Bosnian, Quincy, Sinful, and Kovachka, as there's wing damage to Quincy already, which he's not going to be liking a lot. As Derry fights Mixu, and we see a whole gaggle of cars go down the main straight into turn 6. Side by side was Fellison with Pleasant Snake, who seems to be a bit loose there on the inside of 6, and John Master just takes that away from him. Was a bit conservative, as the Ferrari of Bosnian is already into 10th. As he tried to lunge one down the inside of Derry, he tried, but he's not there yet. This is a bit of overtake. Good, his exit speed, as there's John Meister. Bit of out of position here, as Sinful takes Quincy, and he lets them through, and is probably gonna be pitting again. He's gonna be pitting at the end of the first lap. And Sinful has spun. Lost the car. Let's see where that leads them. Fastest led obviously by the man at the front. And Quincy has another tough day in the office in front of him. Safety car required urgently for the reserve driver, who's going back to hards, has a second set of hards available to him. That's good. Helps him with the race in the long run, as Andy puts to the outside of 6 and gets the job done by the time they head into what is turn 6-7 chicane. Bit loose on the exit as Robustian takes second to first and regains the lead. Now Fellison is on the back of Moksha. This isn't really a racing spot. He goes to the inside. Needs to give him some space on the outside. Shoves him over the curb. Now is the probably worse line. And they just slow each other down so massively. As John Meister's looking down the inside of the Williams. Going into turn 15. And he's taking that spot away? Question mark. Around the outside goes the Mercedes driver and he completes that move. Wow. Turn 15 into turn 1. Job done. Still DRS from the car in front. As we watch another fight commence between Robustian and Andy Andre on the third lap of this race. Fellison has lost the DRS because he fought into a section that wasn't really offering fighting, and now he's probably feeling a bit of pressure inside of his rear diffuser as a horrible car angle from Koetska is being displayed as we have some cloudy skies, and John Meister is fighting his old teammate from Red Bull. Yeah, that was last season. Why am I tripping? No, I think that was last season, yeah. And they have swapped teams. Or they have changed teams and both jumping into a car that is powered by Mercedes as the top 3 are pulling away from Fellison, who does not seem to have the pace really. And that fighting, as I said, made it worse. It's somewhat peaceful and very beautiful, but I don't expect any rain is going to be hitting us today. As we jump to the rear view of Mercedes, as there's a swap for position once again for P9. John Meister goes to the inside of 6 and Derry defends himself from Bosnian. Moksha with a compromised line. There's an opportunity for Snake. He sees it and he seizes it. Goes to what is now probably gonna be P6. Yeah, he holds that. And John Meister's fighting Fellison fiercely as they go into the final bit of the racetrack. Fellison slightly outside line was there for John, but couldn't quite make it. And as Moksha, that's a lot of fighting in the final sector. They're just gonna open a massive opportunity for the leaders because the last 4 cars are spread out so vividly over the racetrack. They have to think about more stuff than they're battling here as Mixu almost lost the exit, lost it at the exit, caught it. Yeah, some sort of a half spin there as Fellison's gap has been increased to 2.2 seconds as we go back to the leaders. This time Robustian leading us down the straight. It's quite evenly in terms of ERS for these guys. And I'm interested to see what kind of strategy they will be pulling. Let's remind ourselves of the tires and that only really Bosnian is in the fight for the top positions, especially the points paying positions with his heart. So he is probably trying to keep cool and fight with these guys. Expect the medium to be quite torn apart at the end of the first stint, because the track is so punishing, especially going into what is the final sector of this racetrack. The rears are really overheating, especially the right hand side tires on the outside. As Bosnian fights Vincenzo into turn 15, goes ahead and stays ahead and is still grounded with the ERS by the DRS of Deary in front of him in 8th. He's about to lose the DRS to Pleasant Snake, so I'm keeping an eye on that. There's been a lot of push on the last lap. They've all cut their ERS battery in half in terms of percentages, so we are waiting moves once again as Robustian takes to the inside. Easy, and it's done by the time they apply the brakes for 6. And there's now a fight with Bosnian, and Deary needs to give him some space on the inside, goes to the outside with a little laughter, but he kicks out as we watch all the Ferrari powered cars fight it out for 8th as John Meister once again with the fight with Fallison. And now, as he completed the move on 40% of ERS around the outside, Deary hangs it around the inside, turns to the outside, bit of a tap. Oh, wrong button, sorry. Bit of a tap by Bosnian. Makes him lose the momentum. But also, being off the racing line there in that section is not really to the advantage. Seems to be very low grip anyway, and there's a 3-second time penalty for Deary. And there's a spin by him as well. Lost the front wing now, just as we saw that. Maybe he lost it on the exit on that lap as well. So huge opportunity for Mercedes, currently in 2nd and 4th, as Andy takes to the once again outside. And now John Meister and Fallison swap positions again. Both the German and the Norwegian driver in the Williams and the Ferrari respectively are just following this group behind. Top 3 are together in one group. 4-2. Oh, Pleasant to the inside, goes very deep and shoves Moksha off the track and immediately gets off the gas. And lets Moksha through now, probably lost also the DRS. So not only hurt himself, but also his chances as we watch another fight through the finest sector of this racetrack. With Deary going off the track completely in turn 9 with no downforce whatsoever on the front end side of his car. And what a fight it has been so far. No, clouds are not changing. It's still very dark, I have to say. Does look like the normal Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I have to say. Top 3, 3.5 ahead. John Meister just needs to make sure he's keeping himself off the fight, and Deary decided to call it a day. Too much damage, maybe for him. As Bosnian swaps positions with Pleasant Snake. The Ferraris have now stayed in the same order. Unchanged top. They positions John Meister on the inside of Fallison once again. These two have been going at it for the first stint of this race. Side by side, beautiful heli shot. And now to the inside, a lot of space is needed for the outside driver. It's really tricky to give that with the off camber, with the inside of the two left-handers under the hotel being just slightly higher on the inside than on the outside in terms of elevation change. So really hard to get the off-camber car being on the track as well. As Kovachka is our first driver to get a 3-second time penalty while still remaining in the race. Deary had to and decided to call it a day. Does not think there's a safety car coming for him, maybe, as Robustian takes 2P1 again. Let's go back to these two. Been fighting throughout the first stint. After they both passed Pleasant Snake on the opening lap. The Jesus dropped back by 3 seconds. Mikshu is not getting anywhere. And there's another side by side by these two. Around the outside goes the Mercedes. Inside is there for the McLaren to take it. And yeah, he does that. And let's see if pit stops. Oh, and deep by Fallison. Deep by Fallison. And that is now an opportunity. Oh, down the inside of Bosnian runs. Moksha a bit off the track, second Ferrari to do so. And he wants to get by. Feels his hards are improved compared to these mediums. And I think that's fair, especially at the start of what is now lap 10. Pit stops should be around 12 to 13, but a lot of fighting going on here for the top two groups. The only real groups left in this race. To the outside goes Andy, and back into first. This is more of a formality now. Snake trying to outbrake Moksha. Well, it really looks like a snake. Good job on the helmet there. And he will not get past here. I think that move on the front end of this group for Fallison might be just in time here. And Snake gets it done actually. So very well done into what is now 7th position. And we are seeing that the Ferrari is closing up. Obviously really didn't lose so much time in these. Oh, he spins it! He spins it just as I said that, and there's a virtual safety car and immediately to the pits. Go Fallison, goes John Meister, Pleasant Snake and Moksha. And now Bosnian has screwed himself over. Lost the car on the exit. And overtakes Mikshu into the pit lane. I think doesn't really care because he wants to retire. Has not opted to do so. And it's going to that medium tire that will not last, so that's gonna be interesting. Is it was lap 10? Oh, that is the most unfortunate timing for yourself. Being on the hards, not finding some pace. Now losing the car, being demoted to 12 and probably needing to pit again. Don't think these tires will last. Yeah, that amount of time. So, the question is, how much drive-through for Bosnian on top? Okay, no extra pit stop for the top 3. Let's see how much they will gain. And with that I mean obviously the drivers behind, as Moksha now needs to get these tires up to temperature as he's fighting Kovacs car. Pit stop from Kacha, so he pits. And that's now officially I think lap 11 to 12. Kacha pit. So no pit stop for the top. Yeah, fellas knows already gained 5 seconds. No, it's compared to Kacha. Let's see. Yeah, 18 seconds to the leader. That is certainly the lead of the race. John Meister has lost it. Has lost Fallison. Snake is close to him, and Kacha is just behind them. So he also lost out on the virtual safety car, and there's front wing damage to John. John has front wing damage on the right hand side of his car, and that's calamity for him, because most of these turns are to the left hand side on this track, as Pleasant Snake and Kacha are completing An overtake on the Mercedes driver. Katja to the inside of what is now turn 7. And completes a double overtake. On John and Snake. And Snake is trying to get around the outside. To the inside goes John. He's really fighting that. Snake loses out. And the top two are heading into the pit lane. The Ferrari on the inside for 11th and... No, not 12th. He decides to stay back. Fallison is about to take the lead of the race with an unlikely virtual safety car at the right time. But I don't think his pace is there to stay ahead. Katja is really starting to catch these guys and is probably good to go on the undercut. They are crossing the track behind him, but they have a shorter run into turn 3. And he is ahead of Robastian, who lost out maybe a bit to Andy, but I think he was going... Yeah, he wasn't leading. He wasn't leading and didn't really check who was leading. And now this fight has opened up more. All of these drivers are now technically in the run for the money. As Katja goes to the inside of Andy Andre. Robastian cannot get the move done on Robastian, who's now trying to really help his teammate here. As Snake is on the back of the other Romanian driver, who's now demoted into 5th position. Katja is fighting. Let's go back to the... Oh, and a slight tap to the inside of John Meister, who's being forced off there to the curb a bit, but not off the track. Robastian cannot get the move done. Is close to the back of the Mercedes. And look at Fallison go. 3.5 seconds now the lead over these drivers. And only a tire that is 1 lap younger. Obviously needs to be having the pace for the next 17 laps. But this fighting with Katja and Andy being on the same pace, with them two being basically in the run for the lead of the race throughout the first stint, they will be going at it. As Quinty takes 30-second time penalty to his name, and they have already completed over half a second of a cut to Fallison. Obviously he has no DRS. Someone in front. Katja lost the DRS. Katja lost the DRS. And now John Meister's fighting Robastian. Robastian into turn 6 and 7. John Meister barges him off the track. Is really fighting that. And I think these fellow two Romanians are just going at it like they would in a fist fight in their home, probably. I don't know if Romanians are doing that. Don't know any cliches about Romanians. I only know that they are fast. This league and SSRL especially. Robastian to the outside of Snake as he was trying to benefit from that fight John Meister and Robastian had. And Katja needs to be starting to get back into the rhythm and fighting Andy for second or what can be first position. Let's look at ERS. 45 to 15 as Andy takes the fastest lap of the race. 27, 50, 30, 60 and 70 by Moksha. Top 7 are within a sector. And just a couple of these guys have lost the DS advantage by being outside of the gap they need to the car in front. Moksha is looking at... You can see all of them on the same straight. If the car... Obviously when the camera would be right. That is not happening right now anyway. .3 seconds. This VSC was really an opportunity for any driver to get away. So that seemed like a very tight angle for Andy to go over the inside curb there. Andy is crawling and is biting off time from Fallison, who was fighting with John Meister, remember, just a couple of laps ago. He has damage now. And he isn't really fighting for what is now John Meister time penalty. Was John Meister 4th position. Now he's currently looking at being 2nd or 3rd in this very unlikely scenario. He didn't seem to have the pace. Wasn't really up there in quali. And John Meister is losing out. Katja is dragging him along. And everyone else behind seems to be coping just right. Biggest loser of them all is Robastian. Has not overtaken what is currently 4th position. Snake is looking to make a move on the current championship leader. Goes to the inside. No, cannot complete the move. And will stay there. For what is 6th position now. And the gaps have closed down. Katja, John Meister. Oh, they're tangling. Oh, and there's a slight tap to the inside. That almost collects Katja, and now Robastian has taken 4th position of the Romanian in the Mercedes, and a tap to the inside. And I was very late on the brakes from John Meister. And Robastian can be glad he was not spun around by that. The game saved him with the invisible mode, with the ghosting that is triggered at certain events. And now they've lost the DS for now to Katja. As the gap has come down to 1.2 seconds between Fallison and Andy Andre. Let's go, Oscar takes to the pit lane. What is gonna be his first and final stop? Robastian once again inside of the DRS for what is currently the hunt for P3. Snake trying his best to get around. John Meister is still holding him up. I don't know how he manages to keep some pace in the car. Because that long ass turn 9 and a very sharp turn in of 5. Certainly not going to be an enjoyable drive through these 2 turns. Top 2 have gotten away. John Meister has lost the DS to Robastian. Private duel time. Fallison and Annie Andre for first. Robastian and Katja for third. And after that is Boxer plus Snake once again in a group fighting John Meister. As Merrick is letting people through. Being lapped here on lap 28 as Pleasant Snake. Is he finally completing a move on John Meister? Certainly looked like it. And Robastian has taken third off of Katja. But maybe that's the opportunity Katja was looking for. Not having anyone really in front of him. Maybe trying to get back into the rhythm and charge his ears behind someone. That maybe can also take him to 2nd position. John Meister with another time penalty going clearly over the curb there. But he's struggling with that front wing damage. So if Katja can manages to stay with Robastian, they can pull down the gap to the top 3 as it takes the fastest lap of the race away from Andy. Very crucial and important point here. As Vincenzo goes to the pit lane. After 8 laps on hards. There's a front wing change. No, goes to another set of mediums. We are watching Andy Andre about to take the lead off of Fallison after that very good timed VSC for the McLaren driver is going to spawn it in turn 9. Currently in 13th, no points on offer. And is there charge by Fallison to the inside? He thinks about it and he's very close to Andy but cannot complete it. Moksha is overtaking Pleasant Snake as well on the last lap to take him from what was 7th into 5th. Are there any other battles on the check? No. And Andy completes another tour around this track and in the fastest way. And was faster by just a couple of thousands. 55 to be exact, faster than Sebastian. On that attempt he put in before. Yeah, 30 seconds for Vincenzo, Kovacic and Quincy, 6 going to John Master, and there's another pit stop coming up for Bosnian very soon. These tires won't go till the end. Snake has completed a move on Moksha but locks the fronts or the rears, whatever. Now it's close with John and Moksha on the exit. Top 4th stayed the same. I think everyone is now playing the waiting game, but these 3 aren't, certainly. Snake to the outside of 9. Is he completing the move? What about John? Thinking about that inside line for 12 again. But there's just more stopping power from the Williams with the front wing that is intact. Slow on the exit, runs wide there for 14. Stays ahead for 15. John has recharged a bit of his battery, has currently double the amount. As Fallison goes again off the road into 1, but it is slow enough. And the game does not apply a penalty or a warning to him. Well, warnings we don't know. We can't see it. And going to the pause menu is really tricky here. And there's no DRS for Fallison, but there is for Katja, who recharges battery. Robestin is even on more battery, which is surprising. But well managed as Bosnia takes to the... Yeah. Takes to the pit lane. Earlier he needed to serve a drive-through penalty. Now he has another 10 seconds to his name. And is retired from the race on lap 21. No points from his side to the Ferrari team as John overtakes Moksha around the outside 4-9. Very good pace. Stay with the front wing damage. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much, so that would be a great sign. And currently is only losing a position to Moksha. He doesn't get more penalties. And Andy with the win to his name right now would mean a huge jump by Mercedes. 18 and 25, that's 37 to Rubastian's 12 as of right now. And yeah, there's an opportunity to take for the Mercedes team. No, they're 39 of the gap. I think it's Mercedes is 1 point behind Red Bull and Andy is 1 point behind Sebastian. Another yellow flag there at the start of the second sector. Nothing major, I think. Yeah, Maverick is being led by Vincenzo. As Sean tries to go to the outside. Snake stays ahead. Nothing done Yeah, it's a bit of a chicken game right now. Obviously, looking at how you want to set up your car and what kind of position you want for the final couple of laps. Do you want to be at? Do you want to be behind? You can recharge your battery. Now Fallison is quite comfortably back into the DRS of Andy, so he is thinking about that, I'm sure. Katja currently being 2 seconds behind. Fighting would only weaken his standpoint or his current position, because fighting for a couple of corners brings you down, brings the advantage down by at least half a second. So yeah, that will be close. Getting early advantages off the slipstream down these very long straights, and yeah, you will be looking at spending all your resources just to get another guy into the fight. Fallison looks to be very comfortable, has stabilized his pace, and he has opted to push a lot throughout yeah, that phase of the race, as John takes back fifth, as Sebastian is also overtaken Katja for third once again. Yeah, strong pace by the second Mercedes. Unfortunately, the wing damage is probably limiting his maximum achievable position tonight, but also 6 seconds worth of time penalties does not help. They are also kind of at a stage where he was at times fast enough probably to go back into the pits for fresh set and blasted blast past Mixo and yeah, take 7th, maybe with the fastest lap, still with 6 seconds on top. Yeah, okay, back to the top. Quincy in the foreground there, as you can see. Mercedes and the McLaren approaching the Red Bull driver. That is currently in 12th position. So Maverick has already been lapped by what I think is everyone up till P9, because Kovacs is currently chasing the only Aston Martin. As Katja has reclaimed what is now 3rd position. So yeah, 5.5 laps to go. And you will need to be starting to think about what kind of a strategic approach you want to take. As Quincy goes into the pit lane. Are you thinking about a retirement here? Or fastest lap, I have no idea. Maybe getting in some more practice for tomorrow in his own league. Mixo is even losing time and is about to be overtaken by Vincenzo, I think. Yeah, fresher, way younger tires by the reserve S. Moksha and Snake fighting through the exit of 5. Sebastian does not opt to go for an opportunity or for an overtaking attempt, as John Meister is being demoted to 7th after both Moksha and Snake have passed him. And there's once again short ghosting moment for one of these drivers. And yeah, John still fighting that. And there's a spin! There's a spin by Katja! No! Katja spun at the exit of 9 with just a couple of laps to go, and Snake is into 4th. And what Fallison and Andy had for the longest time, Sebastian has now lost his private dual partner, but you have to say, Andy was probably hoping Katja would stay with him, as John Meister received another 3-second time penalty, because that certainly would have opted for an opportunity for Sebastian to lose more points being in 4th, but it looks like Fallison is still gunning for victory here. And if they fight too much and Robustian is released, who's currently pushing, Robustian can still snatch away that victory. And the race has just completely been turned upside down with that. Catch a spin, oh no. And John Meister has now lost the group ahead completely as Andy goes back into first position. Fellison is fighting him. And there's been a push. Scotcher goes to the outside of 9. Oh, the outside line is very dirty. You don't really have grip there. Even the guy with front wing damage to his right hand side M plate is faster through there. Oh, he has lost both M plates now, so it's equalized. It's equally shitty now. So you basically just lost a bit of clicks on the front wing in total. And now this penultimate race of the season can still be the title decider at the end of this. I think there was no DRS for Robustian, but he is close. He's now inside that 1 second gap. And he will have DRS from a guy ahead. I think they're blasting down the straight. Don't fight it too much, you will lose time. I'm looking at the gap. There's the marker. Exit was certainly good enough. So that is DRS. For now, a recharging kick Sauber as Fellison has made a way to stay within this. As he's once again repassed by Andy Andre. And now this fighting has commenced an opportunity. Snake is 8 seconds behind. That is certainly out of the question. It's a private duel for fourth. 4 best of the rest. John Meister gone. I think, yeah, you also pitted now. Yeah. Fresh softs. Can steal a point. Well, his 7th position would have been more points, but anyway. And he needs to be winning this one to making sure that there's an advantage for Mercedes, there's an advantage for himself, because that currently is a 10 points swing. And although we haven't seen Robustian really being off the pace and outside the top 2 inside of this very short 6th season, there's still a chance. But there's also another chance for Fellison to take the lead of the race as he moves to the inside of 6, gets the car slowed down, accelerates, slight bit of oversteer. There's no more fear between these two. Moksha has turned on his ES and he gets him back on the 2nd straight. Obviously these two don't really attempt to use the extra ES, they don't want to waste it, but if you just overtake one on the straight and get repassed, you're really giving yourself an advantage on the straights. This tactic being called DRS boosting, so you have an advantage in terms of engine power and overall power output on the straights over your competitors. The final lap of the race has gotten underway. And it's a 3-way fight for the lead. Andy has 2 people behind him that want him desperately to go down. What is the fuel charge on Fellison? He's just a bit over the limit. Okay, yeah, the other ones are good to go. Medium ES by Andy. Doesn't really think there was an attempt coming from Fellison. And him lining Fellison up for Robustian is probably gonna be a good opportunity, but he has also made himself vulnerable to a double overtempt. Here we go, into turn 9. Fellison to the inside. Robustian takes the outside line. The Mercedes now to the middle of the track. Hangs it around the outside. They are side by side into what is 11. 10, 11 and 12. He's ahead. The clash wheels. Pushed on the outside curb. Fellison has the inside of what is now 13 and 14. And he hangs around the outside. There's only one breaking point to go. Will Fellison go for it? No. He stays behind. Robastian has no opportunity to take it. And the race is decided by less than a half of a second between the top three. What a finish to the end of the race as Snake takes 4th place. And Moksha 5th, well deserving as the two Haas's are fighting it out. Vincenzo has completed the fastest lap as of right now, and there was another front wing damage to the car of John Meister. Also damage from Kacha's front wing as he hammers it over the line into the wall. Miksu with a very lonely race, out of fuel now, coming across the line, and Mercedes with John have just lost more and more positions. And Kacha has left the session, so he will be demoted. Same problem again from last time out in Qatar when they just left the session too early. Wow, what a finish! What a finish to the end of the race! Crazy. Wasn't as... And there, it's done. It's done. What fantastic drive, and Snake takes drive today. Just gonna put this down here as well. What a fight by Snake, Moksha and John Meister throughout the start and the middle part of the second stint. And the VSC brought a certain McLaren into the fight for the win. Wasn't able to complete it at the end, but was certainly way bigger than his projected result of 4th after fighting too much. His race pace wasn't there, but he was there to take it at the end, and I was certainly helped by a spinning Ferrari of Bosnian. Top 3 are Andy, Fellison and Robastian. So advantage towards Andy, and both titles will continue in Canada. Snake 4th, Moksha. How Snake drive today? Mikso behind Vincenzo in 7th. Then it's Kovacs, John Meister. Sinful, Kacha, Quincy, Maverick, Bosnian and Dirio, although I think Kacha will be listed in 8th. Yeah, Fellison must be drive today, to be honest. So we can talk maybe with Moksha and with Snake. Let's see if they're interested. Don't think there's any other being more interesting to me. We will be heading towards a quick break and then speaking to our drivers at the end of this 6th race of the season. Just one more to go. Stay tight. We are back for some drivers' interviews after today's penultimate race of the season, race 6 out of 7 from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And it has been one hell of a fight. Top 3 only separated by half a second at the end there. And Andy took the win for the first time inside of the season. Andy, yeah, you must feel pretty happy despite that bit of a scare when that virtual safety car came out and brought some people back into the group of cars when you exited the pit lane. Obviously, what a nice fight throughout the end of the stint with Fellison and you're also robust in getting into that. Yeah, give us a quick summary of your race and how do you feel after this one?
Hey. Well, I'm happy about how it turned out. It was a really good race from my side. A bit disappointed with the qualifying to lose the pole, but just I think it was just a couple of hundredths of a second. And yeah, knowing that I did my fastest lap in the first minutes of qualifying, there would have been a few tenths in it just by track evolution. So yeah, Paul was definitely in reach today, but yeah, it just wasn't to be. Regarding the race, it started out fine. Me and Robastian were pulling away quite easily in the first stint. Uh, but yeah, the safety car kind of caught us off guard and brought some of the others into the fight. And by the second stint, the others really started to gain pace. Probably they got a bit used to the track, and it was a really tough fight at the end. Uh, didn't know which way it would go, but yeah, happily I crossed the line first, and yeah, just waiting to hear Ferguson's opinion about the last lap. There was some slight contact between us, but yeah, I haven't didn't get a chance to look at it again. But I'm hoping it's nothing too serious.
He's currently out for calming a cigarette, but you certainly talk to you soon. Yeah, obviously, when going into this race, there was a certain look towards the yeah quite early end, obviously, to this short season in terms of the championship. Robastian has clinched it. Your 10 point swing, yeah, is obviously now out of reach. Only the gap is now up into 29 points with only 26 available on the last race, and obviously him stating that he's probably going to miss the last race. How much does this Austrian result from just a couple of weeks ago hurt you really? Because that was your only time off the podium, only 6 points gathered there. How do you reflect on this very short season?
Uh, yeah, in hindsight, a bit sad that I didn't give Austria a bit more time. I got in the race with only just 2 or 3 time trial laps of practice. Normally, I do much more than that, and it definitely showed in in the result. And as you said, with such a short season, every race matters. But I can't be too disappointed because overall, Robastian has showed a better pace and better performance throughout the race, and I don't think it was that single one which made the difference. So, if I'll take P2 by the end, I consider myself happy.
Okay, looking to our last race ahead in 7 days' time, it's going to be Canada. What do you think of this track? What are your chances there to maybe get a second win of the season?
It's a track that I haven't raced in quite a while, and the last time out in Canada, I had a pretty bad experience. I was playing bumper cards with Pleasant Snake, so uh, I didn't really have a chance to test my pace on this track compared to the others. But the season has been good so far. So if I'll manage to put in a few hours of practice, I'm confident I'll be up there somewhere.
Okay, looking forward to what you can produce, and hopefully, we're going to see another epic fight at the top throughout the last couple of laps. Congratulations again on your win, and see you soon.
Yep, big thanks. Bye.
Bye. So Feddersen still muted, so we're just gonna jump over to Robastian, who's our third place driver for today. Yeah, Robastian, obviously, congratulations on winning that title today. There was such a big gap you established early on with 3 race wins out of 4 races after the end of the Vegas Grand Prix. So now if you clinched it, and obviously you're off to an off week next time, as you stated in the Discord. How does this championship win feel to you? And did you expect that going into the season?
I First of all, hello everyone. Well, I didn't expect it because I didn't know no one from the server apart from maybe Sinful, Andrew, and some of you guys. So yeah, I didn't expect to be that fast. Obviously, I couldn't practice neither for today or the other races because I don't invest that much time in Formula One. But speaking of this race, it was a straightforward race. My objective was to either finish the race in front of Andy or not let him outscore me with more than 15 points. At the end, I've managed to get a P3 after the Haas in front of me spun. So yeah, great result considering I cannot participate next time.
Yeah, that is certainly true. Obviously, when that virtual safety came out, the top 3 with you, Katja and Andy, were out there, and of the guys behind got a 3 pit stop, and yeah, with that tire warm up for the Haas being pretty good. You got caught inside of that train. How do you think were your nerves at that stage? Obviously, when there's a huge bunch of cars together going all in at high speed, and especially in that into turn 9, that is very tricky around here. Did you get a bit nervous in terms of like maybe there could be a crash happening, a couple of cars piling up, and you maybe being out of the race, or did you just try and focus on your objective you just stated?
We were a bit unlucky with this virtual safety car, and I was a bit upset that this virtual safety car really lasted so long. That usually lasts maybe one sector or 2 sectors, but this time it lasted more than that. So it really helped Felson fill the gap between us three and him. But at the end, I knew that I had the pace in my car. I just need to drive fast to get up with the guys in front of me.
Yeah,
And at
that's
the end, I didn't want to spoil the race between Andy and Felson. I knew that if I would finish in P3, I knew I would clinch the championship. So it didn't matter if I will overtake either Andy or Felson. So I let them fight.
yeah, that is certainly a good was certainly a good strategy. So yeah, obviously you're gonna be missing Canada, but is the plan for you to be coming back into the start of the next season, and what do you expect from these guys around you? You have now started to yeah, get known to, and what kind of racing and challenge are you expecting ahead for season 7?
I will for sure coming back. I mean, just as Kimi said, this is a hobby for me. So in every Monday, I'm used to be racing in Formula One. I used to race in Formula One Romanian Championship in every Monday, but I left that league down. So now every Monday I will race with you guys, but I will take a break for about 1 month. I don't know, maybe when the new season starts again.
Okay. Yeah, wishing you best of Christmas time, and obviously a good start to the next year, and hopefully see you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Moving
Bye.
back to second place, McLaren driver Fellison. Yeah, Fellison obviously completely opposite result to what we experienced 7 days ago in Qatar, and you've been one of the biggest benefits from the virtual safety that came out after Bosnian hit the wall inside of that last sector. You clawed your way through, and also got some pace at the end there to, yeah, don't let Andy run away with that pace he had throughout the race. So yeah, second at the end at the line there, very close to him, fighting through that last bit of the racetrack. So how do you feel after this one?
First of all, congratulations to Andy on winning the race and Rob for winning the championship. Um, Outstanding driving from him. all season. Yeah, back to the race. I couldn't believe my luck. I coming out of from under the stadium or whatever it is, the hotel. I looked back for a second and I seen the Mercedes just go wide a little bit and bounce back from the wall, and then put the Ferrari into the wall. And I was 85% sure that that was going to be a safety car or a virtual safety car or something. So even before the yellow came out, I knew I was just going to dive into the pits and hopefully I can make some time up. I tried to catch the guys at the front in the beginning, but I don't think we had the pace to them. The top three were just really, really fast. So yeah, after I got lucky with the safety car or the virtual safety car, then it was a lot of sweating. Just trying to keep some people behind me. I knew they were going to catch me. And I'm pretty sure Andy, after he overtook me, then he slowed down so I can get the DRS. Maybe to help him defend, or maybe just so he's not bored. But I think if he wanted to, he would have gone about lap 17, and I would have never seen him, and everybody else would have caught up with me. So fair play.
Yeah, obviously, the first stint was an old reminisce last season's teammates with John Meister at Red Bull, the good scrap. Do you think that was all fair and square from both of your sides?
Sorry.
Or was that a good fight between you and John Meister in the first stint?
Yes, yeah. I enjoyed all the fighting. I don't really remember what Andy mentioned earlier that we came together in the last lap. Hopefully, I didn't mess up and messed up his race or were a bit too aggressive. I felt everything was all right. It was just hard fighting. Everybody stayed on track. There was no damage or anything like that. So yeah, I quite enjoyed this race.
How did he know he asked you about this when you were muted? And what? That is just unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, that was obviously a great result from you, and you've been clawing some points back here tonight, especially with Katja's spin late into the race. You're looking at a P4 finish in the Drivers' Championship, also bringing some points to your team's name. That is probably going to be a fight between you, Ferrari, and Haas for a top 4 there at the end. What do you expect from yourself in Canada next time out?
I really like Canada, but I think it's gonna come down to track limits. It always does. It's really easy to cut and get a lot of seconds. But there is a good chance that it's gonna rain. Most of my races at Canada before, they were all wet races, or most of them were wet races, and I much prefer those.
Okay, looking forward to maybe a replica of this year's Canada Grand Prix. So let's see what
Hopefully.
the Canadian weather can bring to you. Maybe. Congratulations again on second, and speak to you in 7
Thank
days'
you.
time.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. And we move to 5th place, Moksha for Williams. Yeah, Moksha, once again a nice battle with you and Snake throughout the race. Obviously seen that in Qatar with you, him and Guy Repke throughout the race. And yeah, tonight you finished closely behind him in 5th. How was that race from your side, and especially that three-way fight with him and John Meister as well in the second stint?
Yeah, I mean, I think I start to enjoy the battles with Pleasant Snake. We are pretty much on the same pace, and yeah, I really enjoyed the battles. It was a good race. I was really surprised that I could keep up because on the practice today, I had the feeling that my tires are gone really fast, and they will not last. And we pitted pretty early on the VSC. Yeah, there was a part, the restart of the VSC, where I really had a bad place for because I was in the middle of an apex, and yeah, the delta was quite close to being red. So I needed to slow down and was over a second away of these guys in front. Yeah, but I catched up because they were battling it so much. But yeah, the most of the race in the first stint, I tried to keep out of the battles just to save some energy. I had the feeling I could go faster, but it wasn't worth it to risk a collision there.
Yeah, certainly always a bit of risk involved there when 3 cars are battling so close, especially into turn 9. John Master even with damage trying to hold it around the outside for both of you guys. So there was really a sense of keeping it clean, and obviously it's penalties very early on. So how did you set up this last bit when he just had more damage, pitted, and then it was between you and Snake? Did you want to be the car behind and maybe try for a last lap overtake, or did you just were settled and thought, okay, P4 still possible, but I just want to bring the points home here today? And how was that approach from you inside of the last lap?
Yeah, there was a try for an overtake. I think I was in front after the second DRS sector, but I really went for a more high-speed setup and was really lagging on the corners. So he got me there, and I tried another try on the last sector, but he moved over, so there was no space. Otherwise, I would have took out us both. So I just stayed behind. I'm not pretty sure. I had a big contact with a Ferrari. I'm not sure if it was Bosnian or Pleasant Snake. I will need to review that because I think that will be a penalty. I'm not sure. The stewards will have a look on that. Maybe it was Pleasant Snake, so maybe I get the fourth still. But if not, it's not bad because I had a fun race and fun battles throughout the whole race, and it was really good from all drivers. They were really fair and kept it on track.
Yeah, certainly. And next week is going to be the finale in Canada. What do you expect from this track? Do you like it? Do you hate it? And what do you expect from yourself in terms of track limits?
Actually, I really hate this track.
Oh, okay.
I think I had always no penalties there, and had historically good results, but I don't like to drive it, to be honest. I race it because the racing is still fun with these guys, but Canada is not my favorite, to be honest.
Okay, and wishing you the best of luck for what's going to be the finale of this very short season. And thank you again for your insights, and speak to you maybe in 7 days' time.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Goodbye. And that has been it from today's race at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Yas Marina circuit. Unfortunately, my math was off, so I wrongly called that there was a championship going to the next week. That is only true for the Constructors' World Championship, which Mercedes still could clinch away from Kick Sauber and them scoring some points back on them. And that is still a possibility, but it needs to be a high finish. I think at least a 1-3 or 1-4 if Derry does not score, because as you heard, Robastian is not there. A new Drivers' World Championship, and that is this time to the name of Robastian. That's another Romanian win, and that is now back 3 back, with both the previous titles going to critical damage, and maybe we'll see them two fighting it out on track next season. I certainly hope so. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a follow on this channel to check out the last race of this season in 7 days time on the 16th of December, and we have probably some interesting and important news to you very soon in terms of the future of this league. If you want to go into the past of this league and watch some of these races we had for this season, check out No Stabilizers Allowed on YouTube. Give them a follow there. You will see these replays, the VODs of these tracks go up there soon, probably in just a couple of hours. And just come back to what is going to be Canada as a season finale. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.